puse a helar en
Ya.
la rula y lo servimos durante el cóctel o de bajativo.
Déjame preguntar.
¿Y quieres?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to welcome you. And my name is Patrick Jacobs from the South African Embassy. We would like to introduce Ms. Carmen from Mundo Chile, who will explain to you the simultaneous translation, after which we will take a pause of about 5 minutes before we will start the official program. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Distinguished guests, friends of South Africa, fellow South Africans, ladies and gentlemen, buenas tardes, good afternoon, goeiedag, dumelang, sawubona, tobela. My name is Patrick Jacobs. I'm the counselor at the South African Embassy and your program director for this afternoon. Warm South African greetings to all of you, those present here in the hall, as well as those that are joining us via Zoom and YouTube here in Chile, as well as those joining us in Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, and South Africa. A special warm greeting to our South African Honorary Consul in Lima, Peru, Mr. Guillermo van Oort, as well as the Honorary Consul in Quito, Ecuador, Mr. René Ortiz. Thank you for joining us to celebrate South Africa's National Day, called Freedom Day, under the theme, Consolidate Our Democratic Gains. It was 28 years ago when South Africa in 1994 became a united, non-racial, and non-sexist democracy, and the country was welcomed back into the community of nations. Ladies and gentlemen, you are probably aware that South Africa celebrates Freedom Day on the 27th of April, but due to the fact that His Excellency Ambassador Monia Mangeni had to present his letters of credence to His Excellency President Guillermo Lasso of Ecuador last week, we had to postpone the celebration to today. Let me then take this opportunity to congratulate Ambassador Monia Mangeni on the presentation of his credentials during the course of last week to His Excellency President Lasso of Ecuador, as well as to His Excellency President Pedro Castillo of Peru. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our formal program is very short. So without further ado, please be upstanding for the national anthems of South Africa and Chile.
Usisileleni Afrika, maluka Yesu pondonayo, Israeli tanazo yetu, usisilelena China, lusapolwayo, ulela uluka sichama sa Yesu. Usibuluke, sichabasa, Yesu, sichabasa, South Africa, South Africa. Ejito van Monsegir,
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor to call upon the South African ambassador accredited to Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru, His Excellency, Mr. George Munyemangeni, to address us. Ambassador.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs, the program director. Buenas tardes, Tobela, Dumelang, good afternoon. I think if we roll the time back a few months back, one would have not thought that it would be possible to really see people in person, to have this occasion and really be able to greet and shake hands. So I wish to extend a very warm welcome indeed, because this occasion of today is an indication that we are winning the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. I also wish to acknowledge in our presence today His Excellency, the Apostolic Nuncio, Mr. Alberto Ortega. Thank you so much for joining us today. I also wish to acknowledge Excellencies, colleagues, members of the Diplomatic Corps who have been able to join us this afternoon. And in line with what the program director has done, I would also like to welcome our two honorary consuls for Peru and Ecuador respectively, Mr. Van Oort and Mr. Rene Ortiz. And please bear with me, as I've said, this is one of the first opportunities where we see each other in person, so my acknowledgement list might be longer than usual, so bear with me for that. And from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have senior officials that are here with us today. Mr. Patricio Diaz, who's the Director for Africa and the Middle East, who will also provide some remarks after me. I know that we also have the Deputy Director of Protocol, Mr. Jose Jaleliye. I hope I got that right. Also with us is the Director for Antarctica and former ambassador to South Africa and a great friend of the embassy, Mr. Francisco Bercunho. It's always great to see you, and thank you for joining us. I would also like to welcome the Reverend Hector Zavala, the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Chile. I saw him earlier. I'm so happy that you could be with us today. And we also have the representative of the Mayor of Las Condes, Mr. George Pompin. I hope I've got that one right too. And on the business side, we have the president of the Chile-South Africa Chamber of Industry, Commerce and Tourism, Mr. Santiago Montt. So happy that you can be with us today. There you are, Mr. Montt. We've had so many virtual discussions, and of course we had met briefly in person, but it's such a great pleasure to have you here today. And also Mr. Ernesto Zelada, the International President of the National Chamber of Commerce for Chile, and members of the board of CHISA, the Chile-South Africa Chamber of Commerce, honored and distinguished guests, fellow compatriots and friends of South Africa. I hope that I've observed all protocols, and let me just start by also extending a very special and heartfelt welcome to those who have joined us online from Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, and other parts of the world. As you may be aware, our mission is now accredited to those countries on a non-resident basis. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We are indeed gathered here, and I have to repeat this, in person and on the virtual platform to celebrate our 28th birthday, the anniversary of our democracy. This is the anniversary of South Africa's first truly democratic election that took place on the 27th of April, 1994. It is therefore a great privilege and pleasure to jointly celebrate this auspicious and august occasion. 28 years of our nascent, maturing, and vibrant democracy under the theme, Consolidate our democratic gains. to mark our country's transition from the oppressive apartheid regime to our constitutional democracy predicated on dignity, respect for each other, and our love for the country. We thank our great leaders, selfless heroes and heroines who were at the forefront of fighting for the many freedoms that we enjoy today. We pay tribute to those who sacrificed their lives for the emancipation of our people and those who champion and celebrate the history of our people and the values which they stand for. As our president, His Excellency Mr. Matamela Ramaphosa has stated, our heroes and heroines, and I quote, watered the tree of liberty so we could enjoy its fruits and stand under its shade today. We also take cognizance that we're emerging from 2 years of devastation by the COVID-19 pandemic, and that we need to work together to rebuild and negate the adverse impact of the pandemic. As we repurpose and reimagine the future, we hold the hope and promise of a prosperous tomorrow. We know that with international partnerships and solidarity, and in collaboration with the concert of nations, we are ready for the challenges ahead, and we will succeed and we will continue to prosper as nations. Distinguished guests, it is also my pleasure to mention that the years 2021 and 2022 presented us with a significant landmark in the creation of our constitutional democracy. We were celebrating our 25th year anniversary of the South African Constitution. It therefore marks various important milestones, including the commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution into law. And at this stage, I wish to mention that the democratic constitution that we have today in its preamble declares South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. It further reaffirms democratic values of human dignity, equality, and freedom. This is encapsulated by and resonates with the theme for Freedom Day this year. And as I had mentioned earlier today, that our theme is Consolidate Our Democratic Gains. It encapsulates the dreams and inspiration of our forebears to work harder to build a strong society premised on the ideals and principles espoused by our Constitution. At this point, I also wish to congratulate and wish success to the new government of Chile, and to also wish success to the Constitutional Convention with their work of crafting a new constitution for Chile. We have always felt at home here. The bilateral relations are great, and we know that you will enjoy the success that you deserve. Distinguished guests, at this stage, this is also an occasion whereby the African continent continues to make strides, proactively using the opportunity we have to shape our own destiny and to position ourselves within the proper ambit of global economic development. And we believe that this, among other global formations and configurations, we recognize and believe that South-South cooperation and relations are critical and pivotal in all domains. I think in this particular case, I would like to believe that the African continent and the South American continent should continue to collaborate and work together to make sure that the global South will also take its rightful place within global affairs. We will play this role to shape the developmental path ahead. And in shaping the developmental path ahead, we believe that there is a lot of room and scope for us to collaborate in different spheres of our own development. South Africa also enjoys a very strong bilateral relationship with Chile. And I'm very happy that a representative from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will be sharing a few words with us. As I went to other areas of jurisdiction where we have now been accredited, they reminded me to say that you are so fortunate to be a resident in Chile. Is it possible that you could maybe think about other ways of joining us where we are? But I then responded by saying that not only have we been well received in Chile, but we are very well placed to ensure that we can look after the region and the areas of jurisdiction, and that we share a great relationship in that respect. So we hope to continue to strengthen this bilateral relation. Our relations are really predicated on strong shared values and desires, and a commitment to democracy and respect for human rights. In saying so, I also wish to recognize the continual and sterling efforts that are made in forging realistic and mutually beneficial strategic partnership in various areas of mutual interest within the areas of jurisdiction of our mission. We believe strongly that our countries fit together well. We see common topics for now and for the future. And this is evident in the various facets of our being, our shared desires and aspirations, and a commitment to democracy and the respect for human rights. We see ourselves as the beacons of the future, and therefore we will continue to work together very closely. The relations will not only remain strong, but we are committed to taking them to greater heights. This is within the ambit of strengthening South-South cooperations, as relations are indeed pivotal in the political, economic, social, and technical spheres. I think just to go back to our own aspirations as South Africa, we continue to aspire to attract international trade and investment. I think some of you may have participated in the presidential summit where our president, Mr. Matamela Ramaphosa, hosted the 4th South Africa Investment Summit, geared to attract investment, geared to showcase South Africa as a great place to invest and as a preferred destination, and to also re-emphasize the fact that we are a country that's open for business. We are ready to receive investments. We are ready to trade as part of the relations that we develop. And that's precisely why today we are so happy to have the Chile-South Africa Chamber of Commerce, which plays a very pivotal role, and also the representative of the Chile National Chamber of Commerce with us today. During the investment summit today, which we believe was very successful, we were able to get pledges and investments which have now taken to the 5-year goal closer to that figure that our president has set for us 4 years ago. And the projects ranged across a diversity of sectors, both emerging and traditional, as our president stipulated. So I'm happy to say this to you today, to say that the South African nation brand is innovative, it is creative, it is bold, and it continues to inspire new ways. That when we see opportunity in South Africa, that goes hand in hand with South African creativity and innovation. Whether we are faced with finding consensus-based solutions to seemingly intractable challenges, as we did in launching our democracy in 1994, or mining gold from the ever more challenging depths. I know that Chile is also migrating. There are a few miners who are here with us today towards underground mining, from open pit to underground mining. And I hope we can share a lot of ideas and a lot of methodologies in terms of doing that. And as we do every day, we believe that our nation has demonstrated a knack of thinking outside the box. So as we celebrate this day today, I also wish, and I always mention this because I think this is very important, to recognize that the father of our nation, our former president, Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison during the struggle and fight for our liberation, always inspires us by reminding us that it always seems impossible until it is done. that when we put our efforts together, when we get focused, we can achieve anything that we want to achieve. And that is very important. So with those words, I would also like to remind you that in July 18th, we always celebrate the Nelson Mandela International Day. And we do that through community development, through contributing to the upliftment of others as we strive to make this a better world for all. Therefore, the Madiba magic is encapsulated in the spirit of forgiveness and humanity, humility and leadership, and we hope that it will live on in our commitment to ensure a just and fair society for all. I wanted to conclude by one or two of my favorite African sayings or African quotes, because I think they are very important, particularly at this period where we know that we face a myriad challenges in many ways. And one of those is that a single bracelet does not jingle. So we need to work together, and we look forward to working together. And to also realize that as individuals, that we can run alone and run very fast. We can do the 100-meter sprint. But as we know, if you do the 100-meter sprint, you will get tired. You will lose steam at some point. But that when we run together, we go very far. We deal with the challenges, and I hope that we will continue to collaborate. And happy Freedom Day to everyone, and let's continue to take care of ourselves and our loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for your remarks and for outlining the progress made by the country over the last 28 years. And I think, as you rightly pointed out, South Africa is not an island. We are part of the community of nations. That's why it's important for us to cooperate and collaborate with other nations around the world, including Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, and Peru. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my honor to call upon Mr. Patricio Diaz. Mr. Diaz is the Director for the Middle East and Africa at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Santiago. Mr. Diaz, please.
Dear Ambassador, dear colleagues of the Diplomatic Corps here present, dear authorities, thank you very much for the occasion to express these remarks in this very important day of a very special country to us. I have had the pleasure and the honor to collaborate with the Ambassador all of these months, trying to find new ways to strengthen our relations. And I can say that South Africa is a very special place for us, a very special country. It's an example of, in matters of human rights. Nelson Mandela is an iconic figure for us, an example. So taking those ideas into account, I will pronounce the following words. On behalf of the government of Chile, I have the honor to share with the people and government of South Africa a message on their National Freedom Day, commemorating the occasion when millions of South Africans exercised the right as equal citizens to vote and electing Nelson Mandela as president, marking the end of a long period of resistance against colonialism, racism, and human rights violations. South Africa and Chile have had more than 70 years of diplomatic relations in which both countries have worked towards the establishment of a democratic society of peace and respect for international law, committed to the multilateral system, international security, and respect for human rights. In addition, both countries have set of shared common interests in the areas such as science and technology, social development, and education. Likewise, in the area of cooperation, Chile implemented the Nelson Mandela Scholarship Program, dedicated to students from South Africa and other African countries to pursue postgraduate studies in Chilean universities in areas such as public policy and public administration. The new international scenario we are currently facing lead us to recognize that the multilateral system is the best way to address the new global challenges and in turn to continue strengthening our bilateral relationships for the benefit of both countries and our peoples. And in that regard, I would like to say that we do not also share common experiences in matters of human rights. We also share problems like the climate crisis. We express our deep condolences last couple of weeks when that terrible thing happened in South Africa, caused a lot of people who died, and taking into account all of these shared things and values that we have, I see great prospect for our countries, and we continue to strengthening our relationships for the future and for the welfare of both great peoples. So thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much, all the present here, and congratulations.
Mr. Diaz, thank you so much for your remarks, and I think, as you rightly pointed out, it's a partnership. It's a partnership that is growing, and I think the challenge for the embassy is now to take that partnership and expand it to the 3 other countries that we have responsibility for, like Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. Ladies and gentlemen, we've basically come close to the end of our formal program, but before that, as the ambassador rightly pointed out, the impact of the last 2 years on the global community, including South Africa, Chile, Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, and other countries, South Africa continues to focus on attracting international investors as well as tourists. In the following 2 videos, we would like to share with you the many opportunities available to foreign investors, and to remind you that South Africa stands ready to welcome you, your families, and your friends as tourists to our beautiful country.
Since the dawn of time, trade has been in our DNA. Our appetite for doing business dates as far back as the year 1200 AD. Mapungubwe is where it all began. Today, we're a country of 55 million people with 11 official languages. We are a country that is first in platinum, second in palladium, and 6th in gold output in the world. A country with the largest harbor container terminal in Africa, welcoming in excess of 4,000 vessels and handling close to 81 million tons of cargo a year. We are the biggest exporting country on the African continent. We boast one of the most popular tourist cities globally. And our tourism growth is amongst the top 3 in the world. We're in the top 10 of African countries on the quality of our governance with our robust multi-party democracy, and are rated top 3 in budget transparency. We are best in the world for our contribution to global peace and security, and we boast an internationally admired constitution. We are ambitious, we are resolute, and we are inspired. That's why we're in the top 39 for freedom of press, top 14 for investor protection, top 47 for global competitiveness overall, and top 35 for innovation. We are in the top 6 of 54 African countries for infrastructure. And our biggest international airport is consistently ranked Best Airport in Africa. Ours is the 19th largest stock exchange in the world, placing us in the top 3 for stock market regulation. We are located in the 2nd fastest growing region in the world and are the top investment destination in Africa.
So if you're looking to invest, look to a continent that holds the world's economic future. Look to the country that has been doing business since the beginning of time. Look to South Africa, a country that's open for business.
No one said this would be easy. Our young democracy was bound to face its fair share of obstacles. Though these moments may feel as if they're going to break us, asilahli themba. We rise to the challenges, armed with solutions, because with great freedoms come even greater responsibilities. And yes, we will not be silent, but show true courage when we speak truth to power. We will use our strength to build and not tear down. Honor the greatness within us and not destroy it. Each struggle we overcome is one more that shows together we can overcome anything. And believe you me, we will rebuild. From the spaza shops in Gauteng to the brick and mortar businesses in KwaZulu-Natal, from Dofaya, Gomora to Mamelodi, we will restore the hopes and dreams of our people one by one. Phakama mntakwethu, phahamang bana ba Tharientsu. Let us rise to the greater call of our nation. Form a human chain of resilience, knowing that jwang kapa jwang, we will rise, time and time again, for South Africa, Africa Borwa, Africa Chipembe.
We have come to the end of our formal program for today, but before I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody involved, or everyone involved who has made this event possible. Congratulations to His Excellency Ambassador Munia Mangeni and the staff of the South African Embassy for organizing this event. Appreciation also goes to Mr. Diaz for his remarks on behalf of the government of Chile. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our 2 service providers, Mundo Chile, as well as Sociedad Gastronomía Procuro, for assisting us to make the celebration possible. And finally, and very importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all our guests that have joined us in person, as well as those that have joined us via Zoom and YouTube in Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, and South Africa. Thank you for putting the time aside to celebrate Freedom Day with us. Finally, I want to remind you that we are still fighting COVID, so please stay safe and take care of yourself, your families, and your friends. Thank you. Goodbye.